The Penn State Department of Meteorology and Atmospheric Science has been around for nearly 90 years, churning out graduates that span pretty much all sectors of the weather and climate enterprise. We're pleased to chat with one of those alumni today. He is a 1992 graduate of the department, and he currently works as a lead meteorologist at the National Weather Service in State College. Please welcome to the show, Greg DeVoir. Greg,
Thank you
good to
so
have
much.
you.
Thanks so much. It's a pleasure to be here.
So, Greg, take us through your journey. What came next after Penn State, and how did you land back here in State College?
Well, being a Penn State meteorology major was kind of a dream come true. I had all the things that I loved in one school, music, marching band, meteorology, and even the opportunity to work at AccuWeather locally as a student trainee. When I graduated, I was kind of looking for a new adventure, and the Weather Service actually did some interviews in Walker Building, and so I was hired into the Weather Service Western Region. Well, I started in Yakima, Washington. I was offered 2 or 3 locations, and it turned out that my grandfather was one of 10 children, a large family in Washington State. They actually lived on an apple orchard there around the turn of the century, and so the appeal to get back and maybe meet family members that I'd never met before was huge. And so, getting there, Yakima Valley, the Fruit Bowl of the Northwest, it was an ag service office. And I let a couple months go by, but I contacted, just out of the phone book, some of my relatives there. And they took me in like their own grandchildren, the second cousins of mine, and really made that experience so rich. So I was starting my professional career, and it was almost as if I had family right there.
That's great. How long have you been back at the State College office now?
It's been since 1999.
Oh, wow, that's great. That's great. Take us through a typical day at the National Weather Service office.
Sure. It depends on which shift you're on, obviously, because we're 24/7, but daytime, which most people can visualize, you come in, you get briefed by the outgoing midnight shift, and you start basically getting ready, briefing the staff, getting spun up on the weather, and then talking logistics with any partners. If there's any active winter weather, we're doing PennDOT briefings and emergency management briefings. And basically my job entails making sure that all the work gets done. I'm not doing everything. I'm kind of overseeing that it does get done, and to make sure that the people with certain skill sets are best placed to do the best job.
And one of the coolest things about the Weather Service is that it actually really promotes research. And so you've been doing a lot of research on snow squalls. Talk a little bit about that.
True. The best mix of working conditions is working operations. You have a daily stake in serving the public. That mission is such a huge part of what makes the job really enjoyable. But behind the scenes, your professional development is really, it depends on what kind of projects you work on. And you really get a chance to shine and specialize. And so the different locations that I've worked at, I've had the opportunity to do fire weather research, ag forecasting, and here in State College, a problem just kind of dropped into our laps, the snow squall problem along I-80 especially. And so I took a really assertive role in that we needed to try to communicate this weather impact more universally to users and the public in general, and it's really taken off in the last 15 years.
What are some of the things that you love most about your job?
The last 10 to 15 years have really focused on sharing the knowledge that I've gained, and that also means things I've learned from positive, things I've learned from mistakes, and it's been tremendously rewarding to see the new crop of meteorologists come in, just incredibly intelligent and talented folks coming in who, especially, for example, with the snow squall work, are just taking the baton and moving it into places that we didn't really know was possible 10 years ago. So the different phases of a career, it's really interesting to feel that, and I'm in my 30th plus year, so it's just been a big adventure and just a really rewarding career for me.
And you're actually in the unique position, being back at your alma mater. You've done some forecast briefings to student clubs like Campus Weather Service here in the department. What's it like, being back basically where your career began? You and I actually have that similar experience. I'm back where things started.
Yeah. I would say it's really rewarding to get to stay involved with your alma mater. As you're here as a student, in meteorology, it's well regarded throughout the country, and the opportunity to come back after being in various places across the country is really a privilege.
Greg, we're almost out of time, but one of the questions we always like to ask guests on this segment, what's a favorite memory of your time here at Penn State?
Gosh, I had a lot of fun memories in Blue Band and things like that. I would say with meteorology, Campus Weather Service, those dreaded early morning shifts. But what reminds me, I think back on that time frame and walking across campus from East Halls with the birds chirping and singing and nobody else out. It seemed like, I don't know, it just has stayed with me all this time of what a beautiful campus it is and the opportunities that every student has here.
Kind of getting you ready for the shift work in the National Weather Service.
Well, that's true. That's true.
Greg DeVoir, meteorologist at the National Weather Service office in State College and a 1992 grad of the Department of Meteorology and Atmospheric Science. Thanks so much for being here, and we'll be back in a moment with more.